Hello and welcome to this session of Free from the Yoke, Rokugan. This is our reskin using the L5R Asian hodgepodge setting with the Free from the Yoke, low fantasy, Russian, sort of higher level game. If you've probably watched earlier sessions, if you haven't, go back to session 2 or 3 and got a little more explanation of things and you'll see where we're at. So we are taking up with our clans. They're in the midst of a project, and that project involves the Emperor. The Emperor Toturi has asked for the Ronin to more of them to be raised up and brought back into the major clans. It's a significant change in the social structure for the society, and there are clans that are back and forth on this. What I want to do tonight is because we left on a cliffhanger, I want to start with Patrick. But then because we didn't have Scott last time, I want to go to Scott, and then we'll come to our other two players. So that's the structure that I want to start with tonight. So tell me, Patrick, what is the gift of the Kirin? You've changed the heart of a scorpion. Maybe not for the better, but you certainly changed the heart of a scorpion, and the Kirin has come to give you what you wanted.
Someone forgot my card. Get there, I can do this. What Hikaru had wanted and what he sort of bargained for was that the unicorn would come or the Kirin would come and publicly bless, sanctify Miho, say that she had, sort of signaling that she had gained its respect and that for her leadership. I'm not sure where that stands with the current story.
Well, I think that this step, in the midst of her being really challenged on this, and the Kirin says to you, because the Kirin knew that that's what we wanted, says, that is what you asked for before. Is that still what you want? Is she the one to lead?
I don't know if she is the one. Things have not gone well under her leadership, but the clan needs a sign of hope and unity. Clan, we have been cast aside and practically spat on at every public gathering that the Emperor has brought together. There should be a sign to the Emperor and therefore the Empire as a whole that the unicorns have a place, that we belong and we are powerful.
Then I will give my blessings to your clan, and I will go and I will ride through the dreams of the daimyo, and they will know the sound of the hoofbeats of the unicorn. You may give your clan surplus blessings and respect. Doji Setsume, you are probably the one amongst the group who feels that, who sees the Kirin as you sleep, and the Kirin comes and says, the unicorn are to be valued. They are to be respected. I have given my blessing to them. They have done what could not be done, and you must listen to them. And you must tell them Doje Setsume, before this tragedy becomes deeper.
Must tell them what?
You know what you must tell Hikaru. And then the Kirin rides away out of your dreams. Does that sound fair?
Everything's going so well, finally.
And it's only the start of the session. It can only go uphill from here. Once we get you rolling, we got to get some rolls out of you here, Patrick, and then we can, no, okay. So that's where we're set up with that. So yeah, the clan, the spirits of the land will be awoken by the Kirin, and everyone amongst your clan who can see the spirits and contact with them will feel that bond strengthened. Sound good? Let's come to Shiba Kazuko. Shiba, you've moved into the role of Shugenja. You were tasked with a trial in the woods, but the Emperor has also, tasked your clan to providing for this project. So what are you doing, either personally, or what is your clan doing? Either one.
I think the clan, I'm off mute, yes. So I think the clan, we are very much in favor of this. And as we have a surplus in morale, we are engaging that to make sure that the other, all the houses here, all the families take in some Ronin without angering them too much, since we do have a need in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that counts towards a project.
Well, the surpluses that are necessary for the project are order, scholars, morale, spies, justice, culture. All of those are ones that work towards that.
We do have scholars.
So do you want to, how would you commit scholars towards this project?
Well, some of the Ronin will be with new clans, new families whose histories they are unaware of. Perhaps even, just internal local rituals may be slightly different. Luckily, we've had scholars through the life of the empire. We understand these things, these scholars, and can share that knowledge with Ronin who are being resettled, as it were.
So you are taking some of your, what might have been otherwise put towards magical research and knowledge and things, and devoting them to this project. I think that seems fair. And if you want to remove the surplus of scholars, I will put a point towards the progress clock.
All right.
Now,
removed it. Morale is now at 0.
Yeah. Normally, you would also get your relationship with the Emperor, the Arbiter, to go up by 1, but you're already at max. So the Emperor has nothing but respect for the Phoenix clan. We'll come back to you. Let us come to the crab.
I think that we were working out essentially a way to assist the sparrow clan, so that they would help us. Essentially, we were working to attain a new surplus, and we had, I think the thing is, if I'm recalling correctly, we were going to offer them trade. to assist them.
So are you doing this essentially? You're going to spend your surplus to sort of change that trade into something else? Is that what we want?
Let's see here. I forget what we were setting up for. That's the unfortunate
Spies.
thing. Oh, I know we were setting up for spies. It was that we had made a gesture. And I can't remember. Okay, well, we probably did read the wind and no more. Okay, so yeah, I guess we could do that. That's interesting thing. Makes sense. But doesn't attain anything.
So what do you want to do something else? Do you want to do a read the wind to find out how to gain them?
We already had that. It was that they needed trade.
Right.
So I guess, I guess I can give them that and end up with spies and try to get trade again somehow.
Is that what you want to do?
No, I would like to figure out some awesome move that would allow that as an
Let's
additional
look at
thing.
your-
So what our options are.
Let's look at your doctrine. What are your moves? Gain advantage.
I mean, we're good at resisting things.
That you are.
We can, it says we can draw a road between them, but since we have the, how do you say this? Since we have the ships now and that sort of thing, could we draw a ship route?
Yeah, I think that'd be fair.
Okay. So that would be a thing, is that we could make them part of the Crab Clan trade routes.
All right. I think that will, if you want to do that, I think that might be a move to
Okay.
do that.
All right.
So let's
Oh,
think what the best way to do that. It's not claim by force.
would it be take influence over, and then you can use the influence?
Yeah. So we're doing a variation on subterfuge.
I guess.
Are you happy
Is
with,
it?
reading
Yeah.
it that way?
Sure. Yes, I guess it's a not direct thing. We didn't come in and say, yeah, we want your people to spy for us. So
let's essentially, this is your way of gaining influence over them by focusing your trade, by sending your Yasuki in, all of that kind of thing. So why don't you roll with sleight?
why did I get myself in a situation where I have to roll? Okay, here we go. Oh,
You
it's
had a
terrible
choice. You
roll.
could have just marked trade and this all would have been over.
Well, yeah, but that was so I failed terrifically.
So
No.
so I think you will move to put that trade in place to get that connection to the Sparrow, and I think you will find your trade ships interdicted by the Mantis. And you will find this over the course of the next span of time of weeks, and you will eventually hear that the reason that they are doing this is because you gave safety and succor to those Mantis pirates back in the day. And apparently there's been a shift in some of the political climate, and the admiral that Doji Setsume helped put into place Her name is, let me get the NPC names here. Yoritomo Maiko is apparently doing this as a way of increasing her position. So this is not directly blocking you from the sparrow, but effectively is doing that. So not doing that with that purpose in mind.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Sure. For a 3?
Yes. Now would you also please roll hold together?
Hold together is,
Mood.
yep. So that's a +2, right?
That is a +2.
And I have advantage with that, don't I?
Yes.
So that's a 14. No, no, it's a 13.
So how does this give your people surplus morale?
I think they really like to have someone to hate. Does that make
Besides
any
the
sense?
scorpion?
Yeah, it's a thing for the crab. So yeah, having the mantis who are just as obnoxious as we are, being able to go there, find them at a bar, and have a knockdown drag out fight is the best thing ever. So
Absolutely. So go ahead and mark surplus morale.
I already have surplus morale, but can I will.
What is
How
a
about
related surplus that you think would be appropriate?
rivalry?
Rivalry?
I don't know. Let's see here.
Culture, if you really think that feeds into like your house's style, maybe.
I think it does. Sure.
I would say a culture, order, or justice. One of those.
I'll take justice. That's what we call it there.
Okay. Crab justice. It's like frontier justice.
Yep. But bigger hammers. So, okay.
Doji Setsume.
Indeed.
What is the plans within plans of the crane?
First, I'm going to send a messenger off to try and find. It looks like I'm the only. Let's see. What is Patrick's character's name?
Hikaru?
Hikaru. Yes, I'm going to send a message off to Hikaru saying, I have located what you are looking for. There is a complication of a most dire sort. I will be going to find them and bring them home. I would like your help. Can you meet my ship at the falls above Moto, or at the junction of the river above Moto's Folly?
And would you go, Hikaru, if you received this missive?
Yeah, definitely. And I have the, let's see, ride fast to any summons.
Absolutely.
If anyone sends you a message by rider or bird, can narrate an arrival of a small band by the dawn of the next day.
I think also on the missive it will say, if you have procured the item I was looking for, please bring it.
What item were you looking for?
That sword.
Did you ever tell me you were looking for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the one that told you to get it. The cursed sword.
Okay.
So
So yeah, it would be Hikaru and Rico and probably like 3 of Hikaru's people. I don't know if Rico has anyone to bring, but if she has someone to bring.
well, this feels like a zoom in, doesn't it?
Well, hold on. Before we
Yes.
get there, let me get out all, because this is, I'm doing this as I have a lot of things to do, so this is the beginning going, because this is going to be, I'm taking my ship up the river, and once this is handled, I'm continuing on to Dragonlands. So before I go, I would like to ask the Emerald Magistrate if he has time to speak with me.
Absolutely. You're a daimyo of one of the clans, and Mirumoto Naoshige will show up and again treat you with great deference and respect.
As I will with him. Sir, let us not stand on too much formality. We have drawn swords together in the past. We are brothers. And I'm going to your homeland. Our emperor has asked the dragon once more take its place in court after such a long absence. I would ask, do you know why they have chosen to keep themselves away? What can I say to bring them back to the court of our emperor?
Please roll cunning.
Alrighty. Is this a find common ground?
It is.
All right, and this is a one-on-one conversation, so I'll get advantage. And I have my courtier with me, so I'm rolling +3. Oof. That is a 13.
He can see the reluctance in his face, and he will say, I have been away from the mountain for a long time. I did not choose to study the path of the Mirumoto for many reasons. There is turmoil at the heart of the clan, and they've turned inward for reasons of a struggle over what comes following the death of Togashi. And that struggle is between Togashi's son, Togashi Hoshi, and the daimyo of the Mirumoto Hitomi, who we will know as one of the Seven Thunders. She's one of the ones that survived the Day of Thunder, known to hate the Crab Clan with a white-hot burning passion.
So I probably even have met her.
Probably have. She lost her arm to the crab, and had it replaced with essentially a magical hand. He says, I need to know what your intent is beyond what the Emperor has set you to in this.
It is not for me to get in the midst of a family dispute, and I do not wish to do that. I admit I have been on somewhat friendly terms with the Morimoto, and would hope that that would continue, but it is not my place to lean my weight on this decision for Dragon. What I
May I
wish,
speak openly, Daimyo?
of course, we are friends.
It is also well known that you have been on more than friendly terms with the Hiruma.
I would ask you not to speak of that. It is unfortunate that that is no longer the case.
I only wish to point out that that is known enough that that will be something you may have to contend with if you speak with the Mirumoto.
I understand, and I cannot say that I am very happy with Crab, which has, to put it bluntly, ripped my heart from me.
He says, I did not hear what you said.
As you say, it is not, it would be untoward for me to take favorites or sides. If I were to bring a gift to Dragon, who should I give it to that would most show a love and friendship with the clan, but not with a family?
You have two choices in this case. Either you take it to the minor clan that serves as the dragon's gatekeepers, the dragonfly, or you take it to the Kitsuki, the smallest of the dragon clans, but the ones most active in the world.
Yes. The Emperor wishes Dragon to be back at court. I do not need for this to be the head of Dragon, simply Dragon. I thank you. And
you are welcome.
And should I ever be able to give a good turn to you, you know you need only ask.
Serve the Empire. That is all I require. And he will stand and excuse himself. Well, let's do this. Let me do a once around, and then we'll swing back to your boat party. Shinjo Hikaru, you have some time before you have to go to attend to these matters. Do we want to do a clan move? Do we want to do a move for Shinjo herself? I'd really like to get you to roll.
Whatever for? So many bridges burned, and so many clans actively working at the Emperor's puppet strings for his strange little power grab plan with all of these Ronin.
Jeez, yeah. You got to do something to stop that.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, we're on the border of, and I've heard some rumblings in court recently about the dragons. As ever, the Unicorn Clan needs to seek influence with other people, something we never have. So I guess I would need to figure out how to gain influence with the dragon to then try and talk them into backing up my dissent on this plan.
So that feels like subterfuge. Or read the wind.
I think it's more read the wind.
I'm fine with that.
I think what we tried to do over in the Monkey Lands was subterfuge and insurrection, and that did not go well.
Did not go well.
And Hikaru is certainly trying to be someone who learns from his disastrous mistakes, so let us be more humble and open about things.
Absolutely. So let's have you roll.
Oh, why? Okay. No, it's Jesus, that's a 4. Maybe a 4 with my stat. I don't know.
Did you say you got a 4?
Yeah, I got a 4. It was a 3, and then I added a 1 to it, so that's a 4.
I'm trying not to laugh. You will be called in by your daimyo.
Yo.
We are speaking with the Dragon Clan.
Yes.
We need to build bridges.
Was my plan to seek ways to support them to gain friendship and mutual loyalty.
Good. I'm glad you're on board for this. We will be arranging your marriage to a maiden of the Miramoto clan.
I surely, with my standing amongst everything, that would not be a lure to any clan.
Are you saying no?
I am simply advising that I and my kind have been called out as heretics, as despised, as lowly in the courts. Would this be the gift out of the grand unicorn horde that you would offer the dragon?
And she, you could see her brow cloud and she gets angry. And she says, "You are my subject. I have done you the courtesy of telling you this thing before it is done. But if you wish to refuse me, then say that."
I refuse you not, nor do I wish to. I was once an advisor to you. And for a moment I forgot the time had passed, that the world had moved on.
I missed that last part there, Patrick.
I have not.
This marriage will be arranged.
As you command.
And she dismisses you. And when you return back to your tents, you will see that there is a servant from the Moto there. Hikaru-san.
Is there something I can do for you?
My daimyo wishes to speak with you if you would permit it.
Of course. Does she seek the spirit of the land?
She seeks to speak with you.
I will follow you to whatever she requires.
And I'm going to continue on with this scene just because I want to do this out. And I think we will cut to you. We're at the sort of the grand. There's gathering. There's lots of the daimyo and the households and things there, and the daimyo of the Moto is there, and that is Moto Yasu. And she says, "Sit down, Hikaru."
He'll kneel at the floor next to her because he's in all of the finery and everything. He's dressed in a very plain and not very clean robes. He wouldn't sit on the chair. He's lowly and despised and not worthy.
Hikaru, the days of your master Shinjo Miho as leader of this clan are numbered. You know this. You were in the council. You've seen the wind. I saw you put in a disadvantageous position because of that. And now I've heard that she wishes to use you as a pawn because she has no other options in this game.
All of our time here in this land, our days are numbered. My daimyo seeks to extend the influence of her house and our clan.
She will destroy us if she continues on this way. And you know that. We cannot win against the Scorpion by becoming Scorpion.
You have to become them to win against them. You just have to prove a better option.
I am the better option. If you consider that, and if you consider giving me your loyalty, then I think that you and I can strengthen this clan. And whatever shame Miho has brought to you and yours can be lifted. I say this because you are the one who brought the blessing of the Kirin to us.
That was not me. That was the clan. That was the strength of the Kirin flowing through us. I work for the strength and continuance of our clan, to see it led with wisdom and strength. What wisdom would you offer? You would tear down the plans of others. You would question the orders of your betters. What better have you to offer?
I will put the bones of the Scorpion beneath our hooves. And we will show them why hiding behind masks and dashing behind the scenes and poisoning envoys, that is not the way to go.
I think you see like a crack in Hikaru's sort of humble, I'm not worthy, serene veneer. I think there's a flashback to Hikaru in like one of those early courts where he's wearing the unicorn tromping over the scorpion clothes, and he's saying almost the same thing as her. That we will, trample the scorpions under our hooves, and he can't. He sort of chokes on the serene response he was going to give her. I have not heard that sentiment in many years. I will admit that I have myself run across trouble with the scorpions many times.
You have been subject to more punishment at the hands of the scorpion than most members of our clan. I think few others understand the danger we face from them better than you do.
I have tried stomping on the scorpions before. Backs are surprisingly resilient.
No, you have been hobbled and forced to prance like a pony towards the scorpion. I will take the war to them, regardless of what disruption it gives to the Emperor's plans. Two scorpion, one stone.
I would beg time to consider the merit.
You have it. You have it. Think on this.
And obviously, if you need any guidance from the land or the common, I can help you in any way that you seek.
That is appreciated. And you're dismissed. So,
It's sort of like wait there on that. Now, don't you want to consult the wisdom of the? Oh, now I'm dismissed. Okay.
and we're done. Shiba Kazuko, what is the next step for you or for the Phoenix clan?
Kazuko is going to enact the ritual Echoes on the Breeze.
Ooh.
To make contact with her dear friend Hikaru.
And I believe that is one of the rituals that is known to your clan.
It is one of the rituals that we learned from Doji Satsume.
Excellent.
Or the ritual. So.
Then because your clan knows it, you can choose to take a 7 to 9 result without rolling, roll the ritual with advantage, or decide to suffer no bane on a hit.
I'm a lore +2. I'll roll with advantage.
Okay, absolutely. So let's go ahead and have you make that roll.
Make sure that I'm not rolling 1d6. Oh, look, I am rolling 1d6. There we go.
Sherry was rolling D20, D like sixes in the D20 game the other night. Was doing really well.
No, I
She's
was rolling
rolling so
D6s
low.
in a 2d20 where I needed to roll low. It was why
Yeah.
I was doing so good.
Oh my God, you are freaking kidding me.
No, it was a complete mistake.
No, I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 1.
Ouch.
So with my +2, I got a 4. Remember the first time we played with this dice roller, we all thought it rolled really high.
We're very happy with it. Very happy with it. Oh, how the worm has turned.
Yep.
Let me think about this for a second. Let me look at.
I'll give you an idea.
Sure, if you want to.
Well, the weather one, we have crops and rice as needs, so that.
What is
lets
it
you
that
poke
goes
right at the clan, right past the character, right at the clan?
You're doing this ritual. You're still young to being the full Shugenja. What is it that goes wrong? Is it a lapse of concentration? Is it some emotion within you? Is it lack of understanding? Is it a wicked spirit?
I think is a moment of that actual and honest jealousy of all the tales of Hikaru that Kazuko cannot match that that kind of legend. And so there's a flash of envy.
This spell, this ritual would come so easily to Hikaru. And that's when the skies crack open and the winds tear in and tear through. And it comes in a blaze off from the coast, and it tears through, and we're here in the harvesting season, and suddenly there's flooding, there's winds, there's destruction, and it passes within an hour, but it is torrential damage before they can get this under control. And it's only a matter of time before someone figures out who's at the root of this. Could you please make hold together roll for your clan?
I can try. I want to read that one really quick. Roll on mood, so +0. All right. 2d6. 4. God, the dice roller just, it's having a night.
It is. I think that you will lose the surplus of coin. I think that what happens, because this is at such a desperate point, is money has to be spent to bolster these supplies, to make the repairs. That has to be spent out from the coffers.
Right.
Does that sound fair?
I mean, it doesn't sound fair, but it sounds right.
Sounds appropriate.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely appropriate considering the fates have turned on us.
All right. Sherry, let's have you make a move so we can get you rolling too.
All right. So here's the thing. The mantis are in our way.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a ton of favor with the emperor.
Absolutely.
So, and also my clan has some of the resources that his project would require. It kind of just makes sense that I could go to him and ask if he could give us imperial, essentially whatever mandate or whatever that we would need in order to establish that trade route so that the mantis couldn't stand in our way. Not that I would say that so they couldn't,
oh,
but
absolutely.
That they need, and in return, of course, we would supply that morale, but we would be able to do this thing with.
Let's have you roll using favor. When you request assistance from the emperor, they are magnanimous in their support. Roll plus favor.
Why did I ask for another thing with a roll? Why? It's horrible. Okay, guys. So I rolled a 7 plus 2 is a 9.
The emperor says, yes, if you are having troubles, I will step in to do this, most assuredly. But clearly the contract is made that morale needs to be delivered immediately.
Certainly.
Like no hesitation. That needs to come now. And if you do that, then he will make those arrangements.
We'll do that. Take that.
So go ahead and mark morale off as a surplus.
Okay.
What is the form that takes? How is it that you are gaining morale or committing that morale to this project?
I think that what it is that the crab who have come and said, these are how we do the ceremonies, that, those who wish to join the clan, come. And so they actually have a sort of festival of, essentially to join the clans for those who have put together their rules or whatever, for the Ronin to come to and do that. So they essentially hold a festival for that, to be the first ones to make that demonstration. It's a show that something does happen and that it's not just talk.
Excellent. So several things will happen in turn. You will do that. That will gain another mark onto the progress track, bringing it to 4. The doom track has a couple of ticks, one from a natural disaster hitting the land, because that's one of the things that raises the doom track, and also another one from a speaker, a leader speaking out against the project, as we saw in a previous scene there with the moto. So we have two ticks, but we've got 4 ticks on progress. So who knows where this is going to end? But you will get that trade. The Mantis are upset. But,
are they?
But,
oh no.
but that admiral wants her position more than she wants to butt heads, and so you'll be able to take that trade, make those trade connections with the Sparrow, to go around the sort of the crane embargo on them, and you will be able to get the surplus you desire, which is spies. Muted? Okay. We're at the 30 minutes. Let's take our break here and then come back to start with Doji Satsumi to see if there's a move we want to do, or if we want to go to the zoom in right away. Let's do that. So let's take 5 and come back.
I had the weirdest thing happen. I went to check all of my con games, and I don't know if it was something with the calendar or what, but all of their times had changed for when they were running. You're muted.
Wonder if it misread your time zone.
I mean, like, I had 2 running at the same time, and I had another one that was that Thursday one, because that's what hit me. I was like, hold it, I'm not supposed to be running a game at 1 o'clock on Thursday. I'm at work.
Is it still that way?
Well, I went in and edited them.
That's really weird.
But all 3 of them had shifted. So I changed that Thursday one to Friday, which is when pretty sure, I'll be honest with you, I think I was running that Thursday one that night, but I went ahead and shifted it to Friday and then split up the 2 on Saturday.
That is wild. Let me look at my events. I can't.
It's the event, Tyler. The Friday one.
My Friday one is Monster of the Week, where I'm doing that continuing series of things in Dalton, Kentucky.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, that shows up as 1 p.m. I'm Eastern Daylight Time still.
On Friday, because
Yeah.
it had been set on Thursday, which it shouldn't have been because I was working. I think it was set for 7 o'clock on Thursday is what I had originally done it. And then I've got another one on Saturday at 12, which is a redo of that one. And then I've got Midnight at the Oasis that I've set for 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah, those look, they view as the right time for me. So,
well, I mean, I edited them here.
So you
since
edited
I saw
them.
it, yeah.
They're still showing. They're then showing correctly on my end. So,
give me 1 sec. I want to post then on the Slack to say to people.
Check if they're having problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording. All right, so Doji Setsume, you have a task ahead of you. Should we move to the Zoom, or do you have some other things you want to do before that?
I think we can go ahead and get to the Zoom.
So we know that we're going to have Hikaru on scene.
Yep.
I'm assuming you're not asking the others.
No, I don't think this is the moment for them.
Fair.
Are you asking the Emperor's Hand?
I thought about that. If somebody would like to play the Emerald Magistrate, I would not say no. I'm a little worried about bringing the Emerald Magistrate to deal with this issue if we want to save the brother. So it may not be a good idea.
Are you going to bring Franco in?
Oh, yeah.
Blood speakers.
Yeah. Actually, I would try to get in touch with you and ask you to meet. And we could,
Yeah,
what's
okay.
that?
It would be more painful that way.
What's that look like?
Oh, I think it's a very good idea to take a craft to a Shadowlands fight.
We'll definitely come out with living sinners on the other end.
There will be no witnesses to the sins. Let's put it that way.
But
just
I mean,
want to make sure. Are you inviting Reiko?
I trust her to help me with this, and I trust in her empathy to try to help this. Yes, I will ask Reiko, but I think that it's not like we're going to start the scene with us arriving at the camp. I would like for us to have first scene with all of us together at the boat.
Sure.
And
so, Scott, would you like to do a quick character, or do you want to do the Emerald Magistrate?
Well, Magistrate's on the character sheet, right?
Yeah.
I will do the magistrate.
What secret does the Emperor want you to learn or cover up right now? To give you the framework, they're going to a camp of disgruntled samurai and others in the mountains who've hidden themselves away, who have begun to study dark magic. They're blood speakers to strike against the scorpions.
I think the Emperor wants me to learn where the source for the knowledge that this band has obtained and is learning.
Certainly some implications that there's something deeper going on, and you have been tasked with that. So then let's do the zoom in, and we'll take up with the four of you meeting at the falls, where you have a chance to speak with them there. Hikaru.
So,
yeah.
Well, just as a meta thing, because we talked about generally like they were in the mountains up there, and we never talked about specifically, but they're like definitely at Moto's Folly, right?
They're definitely just north of Moto's Folly. Oh yeah, because that's near the old lands of the Naginori.
Just thought it would be appropriately spooky and awful.
Absolutely. Lots of bones and armor of the Moto dead there. But and also don't forget that you get to outfit yourself with items, so you can do that. So Doji Suzumi, where do we start the scene, and what is happening when we started?
We are upon the Doji yacht, the great ship. It is luxuriant and beautiful and wondrous there on the river. It is part of my outfit. And I have a stateroom there, and you will see. And I did add to the NPCs my two people that travel with me, my courtier and my bodyguard. The courtier, of course, will not be going on the adventure, but the bodyguard certainly will.
Okay.
But and I have my duelists around, so there are plenty of Crane military upon the boat. My friends, yes, sorry.
Oh, I was just actually going to ask a rules question,
Sure.
Just because we haven't zoomed in with this particular character like this with gear.
Uh-huh.
But the priest playbook, the gear notes is you don't get any gear from your house, but can start with a transporter attire with one extra tag. So I'm assuming like all the how do you whatever choices off my house I don't automatically start with.
Correct.
But do I still start with the a house can always provide you a weapon with the melee tag, or an outfit with the hardy tag?
Yeah, you start with the absolute default ones.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what I was assuming. I just wanted to check.
And worth noting, I took my outfit as from the house, and I used my tag from my surplus. Plus, I get to add a tag, so it is first off, it looks good, but it has tough and it has warding. So tough means it gives armor, but warding means it gets armor against dark magic and Shadowlands things.
Yes.
Shadowlands taint. It is the Crane battle armor.
So what are you saying to your friends here?
And you brought the Naginori?
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 Yeah, Rico, yes. Naginori. I've got Masa, my very pretty horse, and a couple of other like shabbily robed priests with me.
Naginori seems, actually excited and pleased for once, because you've turned Shinjo, and you haven't just done what you've asked. You've gotten the daimyo of the crane to help with this, and your friends, and you clearly have committed to this cause.
I'm about to dash that. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
I have asked you all to come, though this may be where we split company. I have discovered where your brother is. Unfortunately, he has fallen in with a very bad element. They are learning, practicing the black arts. They have become blood speakers. Is that right, blood speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They practice Maho, which is what is called the dark magic. And she will turn and she will look at you, Hikaru. That look of did you know?
Where did you hear these rumors from?
Where do I hear all rumors from? They travel to me. And you had faith that I had found him. Have faith in what I tell you here. However, it is my intent to aid you in taking him from this. I asked you, Greco, because you know most of how to purge this taint. I hope that it has not taken hold very far. And I ask you to come that we save him. Any who do not wish to share in that goal, I will thank you. You may enjoy the hospitality of my boat until we return if you wish.
Hikaru, you see that Naginori is about to do something very dumb. What do you do?
Like step in front of her and say,
because her hand is moving to her sword. You can see her about to step up to challenge the crane daimyo.
No.
No, I love it. I love you mentioning that. That's what you do.
No. Definitely try and step in front of her and say, "Of course, we're here to save him. We're here to redeem him from the path that he's been led down. It's what we were always here to do."
Please roll find common ground.
I'm gonna throw my phone out a fucking window. Sorry, people in group chat are apparently just texting 3 messages a second. It's right under my arm, just buzzing constantly. Cunning. I have a cunning. Well, this. I have a score. That's doubles. That's 2 2s. Plus.
After failing to do as well as you'd like, you may say what a character nearby can do to boost your efforts. If the group agrees, the helper says how they do it and rolls an appropriate stat. So I think that is either Raiko or the magistrate at this point.
I think the assumption is probably that Mariko would, come in to crush, kill, expunge Shadowland Taint, but also that she has the greatest experience with it. So if she said that we were going in to help redeem and cleanse, that would definitely back up my position here.
Yes.
Please roll cunning, Reiko.
All right. Why do I have to roll? Okay.
The pain must be spread.
Exactly. Okay, I gotta roll though. Oh, I did roll. Well, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I had. Okay, so I got a 7.
So that will push that up one level on the Find Common Ground to a 7 to 9.
And I say to her, "We will not kill your brother until you instruct me to do so. But know that if he's infected, you're taking Maho back to your clan." But I look at her super seriously.
So I think that you both have kind of made a pledge to her. So I think she will gain influence on both of your clans.
Interesting.
Fair.
Okay.
Someone should have influence.
Yeah. He will step back. Just assuming that you say this, and then there's a brief hubbub, and then they kind of split.
I think that I've waited patiently, but I think my bodyguard was very much on point while this was going on.
As well as a ship full of crane duelists.
Yeah. Are we then in agreement? Magistrate, is this agreeable to you?
Are you talking to Reiko or to the Emerald Magistrate?
I'm talking to the Emerald Magistrate.
Okay.
This is agreeable.
Very well. Then at first light, we head into Moto's Folly. I know the location of their camp. We shall confront this problem.
And I think we will cut to the next day to the group, a fairly large group, heading into the mountains. A lot of people who aren't trained for mountaineering or being quiet necessarily with a procession of this size. You are making a good deal of noise.
Don't worry, we brought horses to help with that.
My followers are astute, though, so hopefully they will notice if anything funky happens.
And you have not, I mean, you're kind of following rough maps, and maps in Rokugan are terrible, literally. Sometimes deliberately so. But you are heading up into the mountains, and you know you're not at the camp, but you will find a mountain village. Like you can see it off in this. They've clearly, people have seen, heard you coming, and when you arrive, there's sort of two movements that you'll see. One is people like clearly moving to maybe hide some things, and a middle-aged man who's clearly the village headman comes out. He's a little bit better dressed, but clearly he has the sort of more baked skin and rough appearance of a person who lives and works these mountains. And he comes over, kind of head bowed, and he will say, "Honored masters, what has brought you to Last Point Village?"
We come seeking an encampment we have been told that is nearby. Do you know of others, and I'll point in the general direction of my map, that have set up some sort of encampment?
You've come to deal with the bandits, then?
Yes.
They're a group of bandits who set up at an old watch point fortress, some miles along the mountain, a difficult, narrow track to reach it. They've attacked us. They do not attack us openly, but they come and they steal away. They've caught people outside the village before, and we haven't seen them again. We're not warriors. We sent messengers down to the locals, but this area is contested and no one claims over it. We know that the Scorpion have scouted around in this area looking for them from time to time.
Can you describe anything about them?
We have not seen them. They are like the Scorpion, though. The ones that we have caught glimpses of, they wear masks, but they are not. They're not like the samurai of the Bayushi that we have seen through times.
I'll look to the rest of the crew to see if they have questions for these people.
What does Naganori wear at this point? Does she?
She doesn't have a mask on. No, she's given up the mask.
Gotcha.
She probably has it at her belt, but she doesn't wear it.
I'll sort of have moved closer to her during this. Whisper and gesture at the mask. See if that's what he's talking about.
She just nods. Teeth still a little gritted, but she's trying to go along with this. The headman says, I can sketch you a better map, but I should warn you, the way is dangerous. It is a single, for those of you who are not men of the mountains, it is a single track along the side. You'll have to watch for things from above. It is steep. You'll not be able to take horses there.
Would one of your people be willing to guide us? They would be rewarded handsomely. And would not be expected to fight.
Let me speak to the youths and see if there's any that wish to do this, honored sir. He clearly appreciates that you've asked rather than telling. But you can still sense real reluctance there.
I can't blame him.
But he goes over and you see him talking to some people. And you get the sense that he puts the pinch on someone like you'd better do this, because you've got some things that are going to get you in trouble. So you better go and do this. And eventually this young man comes over and he says, I will lead you on the track, but I would ask that some be ahead of me.
That is very reasonable.
They will know we are coming.
I don't see a way to avoid that. I look especially over towards the magistrate and Reiko.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
When I'm here, do I also bring some of the gear of my clan, or is it only Dozy who brings it?
No, you get to also gear up. When you clean outfits your character, they can access special tools. Start with your assets, adjusted based on your character's gear move, and then each of your surpluses can be tapped to provide a benefit.
Okay.
If they're concentrated.
If they're concentrated.
What does that mean?
Some resources are uh, spread out, and some are in one place.
Okay, it's just that I have Caillou, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So I thought that it might be that I could, if we could scout an area out, I could use a ritual to actually make a path for us that wouldn't be as expected.
That's an interesting idea. Do you want to try and do that?
Yes, but we would need to scout out a useful one, like one that would give us an ability to get to them. We could always, of course, put some folks on the narrow path that they would be expecting and use that as a distraction for an alternate way.
This is actually something that the magistrate's good at. If you, the eye of the magistrate, when you scout out a location, roll.
Okay.
And then there's a whole bunch of options that we'd be able to pick from.
Okay.
Nice.
So I have the, because Cooney, if I remember correctly, they're Earth, right? So,
It's your option on that.
okay. I think, okay, so it's probably Fire Earth. I could take Rise Earth. So when you act this ritual, you can change the shape of the terrain and battlefield. You can shift hills, part woods. The Earth will try to restore itself over time. This can allow the passage of troops, conceal tracks, or expose weaknesses.
So do you want to have the Emerald Magistrate scout first with his move, and then you do the ritual? Does that seem like the right sequence?
Yes.
Then I think Miramoto, now Shige, we see you kind of move into the mountains. You're originally from the Dragon Clan. This is your element in more ways than one. Let's have you go ahead and roll with cunning.
What could possibly go wrong here? My God, really? Did I really roll a 6? I rolled a 6.
Can
Well,
I help?
I mean, that is the
Okay.
highest I've rolled all game. So,
But does that get you to 7 to?
if you
Yeah.
helped,
Okay.
if there was
Hold
a
on,
way
hold
that you assist,
You're
like if you-
+2 on cunning.
yeah, I rolled a 4, right?
No, you rolled just a 2d6 and you didn't add anything.
Oh, it didn't add the bonus. I thought I'd added the bonus in. Okay,
No.
yes, 8. So we're good.
8. Well,
Okay.
you have one pick, but then there is a little bit of a cost here. What is it you want? Enter unobserved? Draw them out? Disrupt locations, operations? What do you think?
It was sounding from the way that you were talking, Sherry, that enter unobserved would be something that we were interested in, kind of getting the drop on them, essentially.
So I think we will see you make your way down, across these mountain lines, and it's steep and it's hard, and you know it's tough for you, and you know climbing on here will be tougher for people who don't know how to do this. But eventually you'll find yourself at this old stone fort. Sections are clearly collapsed there, but the smell that carries to here is unpleasant. It's eldritch and unnatural, that sort of when the wind catches it. And you can see that there's a fairly large group of people in the fortress, but then there are also some markers and things outside that are clearly ritual surfaces for sacrifice and other things that are out here where you can see where the blood has dried. And you are moving along through there, and there's some chanting that's going on, and then the chanting stops. Like it goes from, and it just cuts out entirely. And you have the sense that someone has seen or heard something.
We'll rapidly retreat the way I came, I think.
So you fall back to where Haruma Raiko is. The others are waiting.
Yeah, and I'm going to describe the way there. This is a very treacherous, so you will want to ensure the greatest of caution if you are not familiar with the mountains. However, if we approach from this direction, they will not see us.
Surely nothing bad can happen now. So, Haruma Raiko, you wish to try and invoke a ritual?
Yes.
All
So-
right.
I add lore to that?
So the first thing is this a ritual known by your clan?
It is, because I haven't stated any others that were, but that does sound like the sort of thing the crab would use.
It is perfect. You'll be rolling with disadvantage.
Oh.
However, you may choose, since it is known to your clan, to either roll the 7 to 9 result without rolling, roll with advantage, so it would negate the disadvantage, or you can roll and suffer no bane on a hit.
Suffer no bane.
Okay, in that case, go ahead.
Wait, no. I was saying suffer no bane. I was going to ask what that means. Sorry. I
So
apologize.
banes are land's power warps you. The land descends a self-sacrifice from you. It shows you something you need to know. Land's creatures avoid, attack, watch, or crave you. Weather changes suddenly or dramatically. We saw that earlier today.
Yeah.
And if it helps with your calculation at all, Hikaru actually has this Rise Earth ritual as well. So he could be there to have your back if things go sideways.
Then how about if I attempt to roll with advantage so that I take care of my disadvantage and I try an honest roll? Or no, what should I say? No bane.
Or you could just take a 7 to 9, and then you don't have to roll at all.
All right, I'll take the 7
But
to
then
9.
there's definitely banes.
Yeah, so there's definitely bane.
Yeah,
Now,
but at least there's
it's true.
success.
Here's the thing. Now, Hikaru could still try and help to push that 7 to 9 up to a 10 plus.
Okay.
Do you wish to help Hikaru? You would be rolling lore for this.
Let me double check. Playbook.
However,
+1.
You would be sharing any bane.
And you could take it down to a 6- if you fail.
There's that.
It does sound like the thing that would happen, though, is the guy who is, and you're going to help, and then whatever happens, happens.
I'll be
So
honest.
I say, let's do it.
I'll be honest, this may be my favorite aid move I've ever seen. I really do. I love you take it up a category or you bottom it out.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah, the hindering is great.
Okay,
So,
Hikaru, I believe in you. I and my cootie
Oh, if only
friend.
this were Space Worm and that worked. So how does Reiko, like, how do you think she does this ritual? Like, what does it look like?
I don't think she does it. I think you see that, like, she works in sort of that perfect trust of the Cooney, and she turns and she is like, is absolutely convinced that this is the thing that you can do as well. And it is, she's waiting, and she sort of leaves it to the casters to decide this thing. She gives you the information from the Emerald Magistrate, but she's kind of done this a bunch of times before and weathered who knows how many banes, and and is ready to go.
So yeah, I think he's there. Like you're just assuming this ritual is going to go forward, and at each of the points where you would need some sort of like focus or offering to put out there that obviously you don't have. Hikaru's like right behind you, and he just happens to pull something out of his pocket. I was like, yes, I have a stone there. It's, he's following after you, sort of like praying and doing the rituals with you, and very subtly moving things into proper alignment where you'd sort of haphazardly put them down.
Have you roll lore?
Really? With dice?
Yes.
You can do it.
Don't do it.
That's a 12.
What?
Woo!
Yay!
Literally unprecedented.
I was wondering if my roller had those numbers in it.
So you don't share in any bane because you rolled that high. So you get to choose 2 benefits from the ritual, Sherry, 2 blessings.
Oh boy.
We know what it's going to do. We know the effect of it.
Okay.
You get to choose 2 of those, and then you choose a bane.
Okay, so I'm looking at the basic moves, right?
No, rituals.
Rituals.
It's after the NPC.
Yes, of course it makes sense. But it's the whole, okay, so on a 10 plus I get to choose 2 things. Let's see here. Blessings. We gain fleeting advantage.
Okay.
And we gain insight into our
Now,
foe's
I'm going to
courage.
stop you before you finish that
So I
sentence.
have to say it does exactly what I desire, no more, no less.
Or more powerful than normal, because otherwise I get to kind of choose what goes on there.
Okay, I guess exactly what I desire, no more, no less, and fleeting advantage.
Okay. And then the bane.
Yeah.
The GM picks 1.
Yep.
I think that you will have a vision here.
All right.
And you will see Doge Setsume. And you will see Doge Setsume in his full wedding outfit. And you will see the bride walking towards him. And you will see the veil come up. And it is most definitely not you. You've never seen this woman before, but it's not you.
Sometimes when your heart breaks, it's a kind of freedom to go forward, right?
So I imagine that we see this roiling of the stone to flatten out and broaden this path, to push it, to give you space to move, and to create a run road to move more broadly in that will smash up against the walls of this fortress. It doesn't break the walls, but it gives you a smooth path. And there are clearly some of these people up, up above. And when they see that, they fall back to the fortress rather than like throwing rocks down or doing any kind of landslides onto you. And you can tell that you have made your noise and now you need to act. Doji Setsume, let me come to you, and then Shiba Kazuka will kind of come around. What do you do, Doji?
I stride forward, purposefully and bravely for me, and motion to the duelists. Take the walls. We will not have them separate us. Come, my friends. We strike now, and we strike hard.
Absolutely. And so you are putting these people to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have you go ahead and make that roll under orders. How many tags do they have?
They have 2.
2 tags. Okay. Go
Vicious
ahead.
and astute.
Roll +2.
Okay. That'll give me an 11.
That'll give you 11. So they follow up. I imagine that they are running even as that last of that stone is lifting up, and they're using that to bound up, to strike through the gaps. And the duelists are up on the walls, and their cries and screams right away. Shiba Kazuka, what are you doing? I'm sorry.
The magistrate.
Magistrate Muramoto Naoshige.
Refresh me on where we were. I was reading an email.
Oh, so sorry.
You guys caught me. Sorry.
They have made a road, a smooth, open road up to this cracked fortress, given an accessible way up, and Doji Satsumi has dispatched his duelists who have rushed up and have taken one of the walls.
Okay.
Do you want to try and find your way in, or do you just want to stride forward and attack, or what do you want to do?
I think they've got the walls. Let's find a way into the fortress itself.
Let's have you roll cunning.
Why not? What could possibly go wrong?
What could?
Hey, I rolled a 12.
Look at you.
It's one end or the other. There's no middle ground.
So pick one of the results from Eyes of the Magistrate.
Actually, how about I identify the greatest threat present?
I think you'll make your way up and kind of get through the like there's the wooden gate there that's kind of offset. I think you'll slice through the ropes holding that, and that will kind of turn that, and you can see that there are 3 Maho blood speakers in the center, and they're casting. The air is dark red around them. They have porcelain masks on, and they have clearly been preparing a ritual. And you can see that any blood that is being shed up on the walls is flying through the air over to where they're at and swirling into their magics. So you're like, those 3 have to die.
Yeah, I'm pointing them out to all.
Shinjo Hikaru.
I think as the magistrate points out those chanting Shugenja cultists there, I think Hikaru would slip down off of Masa's back and sort of come up the road, so and like petting his mane, stepping forward, he's just going to slowly and deliberately walk at the 3 of them. But I think with every footstep, it rings sort of multitudinous and louder, the sound of several and then dozens and then hundreds of hooves hitting the ground as he walks forward. I'd like to try and enact the Strength of the Mare ritual to call upon the endurance of the herd.
Okay.
To walk forward and take whatever they throw out at me.
So that is lore. This is a ritual known to your clan. Do you have the thing that lets you act as a Shugenja?
Yes.
Okay.
The right, you can perform basic rites and rituals. Roll it without disadvantage.
Okay, so you roll it basic, and then you can choose a benefit from the list. Do you want to just take the 7 and 9 without rolling? Do you want to roll that with advantage, or do you want to suffer no bane? What's your lore?
My lore is 1.
Mm-hmm.
But banes are fun. I'll roll with actual advantage.
Okay. Let's have you roll then.
Okay, dice.
3d6.
That's a 9.
That is a 9. So you may choose one blessing.
Oh yeah, the magic is far more powerful than normal. That seems fun.
I think that when you come charging in and they see that magic around you, they launch that at you, and the horses will beat away the physical harm from this, and it will bounce away. But there is a moment where you feel something tingle. And I think that you will look down and you pull your sleeve up as you realize that some of that Shadowlands taint has marked you, warped you a little. And like a scared person in a zombie film, you cover up the bite.
Cover up the bite.
But
I'm pure of soul, and I'm working for the good of the Kirin. Like, surely that's just a scar that I'll tell interesting stories about.
Exactly. So, speaking of the person who knows better, Crab, you see Shinji Hikaru march up and take full on the blast from this Maho, from these blood speakers, and shatter the magic around him, occupying these sorcerers. You are so muted.
And she does that thing. She looks at her Caillou with the eyes, and she points back to go watch for whoever is hit by these things. And you see she actually turns back to Naganori and grabs her by the arm and says, "Which one is your brother?" And pulls her through here, because she goes, "Because I'm killing everyone else."
Then I think that I want you to roll bravery to kind of get in and through and find your way to where you need to go.
Okay, and that's Emerald Badge. When I give an order or a warning based on my authority as magistrate, I roll bravery is one of those things. Is that what you're kind of talking about?
I'm actually using disarm for this.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. So I'm rolling 2D and I'm adding 1. So let's see what happens. Oh, I guess it did roll. Okay, so that's a 7.
That is a 7. So you will pull Naganori through here, rushing through. The duelists are on the walls. The sorcerers are occupied with that. The Emerald Magistrate's kind of moving along, but you'll kind of come through, and you, Naganori, will get in and kind of kick in through one of these doors, and you will see a pair of figures there, and they're both like picking up their porcelain masks, and Naginori draws her blade.
Okay.
And she points at one of them. That is my brother.
She shoots the one right next to her brother. I have a fine Yumi bow, and it's just literally, it's like whoop right there.
Okay. And I think you will drop him. And I think that she steps forward and she swings that blade and she puts it right into his neck.
Okay.
And drops him to the floor. The porcelain mask will crash onto the ground as she does that, but you will hear behind you a mass of these blood speakers coming up and pinning the two of you in this room. We'll come back to you in a second. Doje Setsume.
I would have watched where Reiko was going.
Well, she ran it deep into the fortress.
Right. So I know she's gone that way.
Your bodyguard, like if you start to even like move an inch towards that, your bodyguard puts his arm out.
And there's fighting going on around.
Yes. Yeah, all on the walls, blood's everywhere. You see that Hikaru is still facing down these three sorcerers.
Does it look like the duelists have won the battle of the walls?
They've gotten the
them?
wall right now, so they've got the high ground right now. But there's still more blood speakers in there.
And Reiko and the Naganori
have vanished out of sight into the depths of this place.
Past where the sorcerers are.
Yes.
That same direction. Okay. Then I look at my bodyguard and say, I will not cower. And begin, it's a fairly slow, just deliberate walk with him beside me as I lift my voice and say, to me, and call the duelists as we in a wedge are heading towards Hikaru and those sorcerers. If he's holding their magic, then me and my boys will chop them down.
Do you want to do that as fiercely assault from you, or do you want to do that as sending the troops in?
I think I want to fiercely assault.
Okay, then let's have you roll with might.
Okay, I want to be brave and tough and show what I could do. Since I got the bodyguard there, I get a +1 to my might roll, so I'm
nice.
Rolling +1. I didn't use my fleeting advantage the first time. Can I use it now?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Well, that's 5, 6, 7.
7. So you choose 1 and the GM chooses 2.
Okay. So I'm going to inflict savage, terrifying harm.
Yeah. I think that you will cut down one of these 3 sorcerers, and it's a brutal stroke. Goes through the porcelain mask, blackens, and their own sort of blood explodes back inside themselves as you knock them back. And some of his, like their acolytes that are there, will kind of step back as your forces are on them. There's still 2 more of these sorcerers, but you will cut into them, and you will take 3 harm as one of these sorcerers, throws what magic they can at you.
I think then as my beautiful heirloom blade slices through it and my troops are around me, and what is the attack that does the damage?
It is a blast of blood formed like a spear.
Okay, perfect. And as it comes blasting towards me, and you can see the duelists sort of like leaping as though they want to intercept it, my bodyguard moving forward to intercept it as well. From my left hand out of my sleeve comes the gift which was given to me by Hikaru. And the blade, the blast shatters against my fan, and the damage is gone.
Absolutely. But not completely.
Oh, dearie.
Because I have a second pick.
Yes,
and I think that is that moment when you have shattered it back and you look over and you see your bodyguard crumpling to the ground.
Oh, damn.
We don't know if he's alive or dead. We can't tell in the chaos of this situation. Shiba Kazuko is not here, but Miramoto Naoshige is. What are you doing? There are 2 mages left, and there are a group of these blood speakers who are trying to pin in the crab and Naginori inside the place. What do you want to do?
All right. Well, I'm not really the greatest at fighting.
You have some good moves for this, though.
Well, I could still use, was this character supposed to get an advancement?
That's why he got strength to deliver. That's how he got it when he was played last time.
All right, so I'm going to use Eyes of the Magistrate. I am the remaining wizards here. Wizards.
2 sorcerers?
Yeah, the 2 sorcerers. I want to I want to disrupt the ritual or rituals that
Let's
they're
have you
attempting right now.
let's have you roll with cunning.
And so it's a +2. Is it there? It's there. Oh, we got a 7.
So you will get up into the midst of them and kind of knock them apart. A third of their number is dead, and then suddenly you're in their blades, that beautiful Kakita style that learned from the crane, and pushing them back. They're forced to deflect away this energy, and they turn their attention to you. And I think you're going to suffer 1 harm. I think that's going to be the 7 to 9 on that.
Okay.
Shinjo Hikaru, you've taken that blow. You've opened this up for your friends, and now those sorcerers are broken apart. What do? There are 2 remaining. There's still some acolytes around, and then, of course, in the depths of the fortress, who knows what's happening there?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn to the followers that I have there with me, and tell them to follow Naganori into the citadel. Nothing to happen. He has to get out of it.
How many tags do they have?
They have 2. I recreated my ones for my family.
Then let's have you roll for them, and then we'll figure out what you yourself are doing.
7 + 2 is 9.
Then I think you will send them in. I think charging in behind will give advantage to Naganori and Reiko. But that is a 7 to 9, so I do think that, let's see, I think that they can't quite get them extricated. Like they wanted to do this so they could get them pulled out, and while they're giving Reiku and Naginori assistance, they're not able to, like, they're still going to have to fight their way out. So they don't quite do.
They're priests. That's you know.
And what are you doing? You have a moment you can dispatch one of these sorcerers.
Yeah, the magistrate just broke them up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm striding forward towards one of them, and where before we've seen Hikaru on like a nobly appointed steed with this amazing bow and flashing armor, like he's just got his robes, and as he walks forward, he pulls out basically a carved club. It's got some symbols and things in it, but it's just a knotted piece of wood as he goes to just beat one of these sorcerers to death.
Roll might with advantage.
What do we get advantage from?
Because Kazuko spent his action disrupting them.
That's good, because my might is not good.
I know.
But 9 - 1 is still 8.
It is 8. So choose one.
I'm just gonna lean into the awful because the dice are not failing me, so I have to come up with it on my own apparently. But to go along with the delightful Scar to tell fun stories about in taverns, I scavenge a useful piece of gear in the aftermath.
Okay, we'll come back to that. There's something that's shiny as you knock into one of them. You've wounded one of the sorcerers. They drop something that you grab up because it has a mark of the unicorn on it. You do that quickly. You will take 3 harm. If you have tough armor or sacred armor, that will reduce it.
I have practical armor.
And then I think that the other thing is that when you hit this sorcerer, there's the two of them left, you hit the sorcerer, and he's clearly trying to hold something, and you will see him fall, and the blood kind of forms in the air, and you will see this blood oni start to manifest.
Oh, that's
Let's come to Reiko. Naginori turns. You notice that she has Shinjo Hikaru's sword, and she raises that up and looks at these, clearly part of her, like these are former scorpions like her, and she just goes, "You dogs." What do you do? Muted one.
Shoulder to shoulder. And I didn't use my fleeting advantage. Can I use that for this, whatever it is we're doing to clear this space?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You do roll might with advantage.
Okay. That's good because I don't have my. Are you sure it's not bravery? I'm using a bow, I think.
No, thank you.
Damn
Nice
it.
try.
Okay. So I get a 9.
You get a 9. Then choose one from the character list.
Okay. Which character list on what thing?
Fiercely Assault.
Oh, yikes. I didn't want to do that. I was fiercely defending. Oh, wait. Okay. There is no such thing. Hold on a second. Got to find it. Fiercely Assault.
character moves A9.
Our avenue of escape is clear.
Absolutely. You cut through some of them and cut your way through. You are going to suffer 2 harm.
Hold on. I have some armor. I have jade armor.
I believe that's tough, right?
It is tough and warded.
Okay. Then you will only take 1 harm.
Okay.
But I think that as you get out through there and you kind of push your way out onto the grounds, you can see that Naginori is bleeding. Like she's clearly taken a heavy wound here.
All right.
Let us come back to Satsume. There is but 1 sorcerer left, this sort of fragmented blood oni, and there's no one else left. Whatever small fry are being cut down by your people in this.
So this Oni and the sorcerer.
Yeah. Together they fight crime.
I think we see Satsume kind of straighten himself up to look at the Oni, and it looks fearsome, I'm sure, and terrifying. And he pulls his blade up, and then he points. Your Daimyo calls for you to destroy this thing. And like a swarm, the duelist just down upon him.
Let's have you make that roll to see if you can do this, if you can finish this off.
All right, and I'm rolling with their tags, correct?
Yep. They haven't yet suffered harm.
And that's a 10.
That is a 10. Then they will slice into this thing, pushing it away. Any blood that flies from it does not cause taint or corruption. It flies clear as you strike this down. 1 sorcerer left. Emerald Magistrate. What do you do?
And as they do that, I immediately begin running deeper in as they're handling it to find Reiko.
Of course, but dramatically, we won't be able to find her right away. So Miramura Naoshige, what do you want to do?
I think now that there's just one, I will draw my blade, walk up to this final sorcerer, and in the name of the Emperor, strike them down.
You have fleeting advantage, so go ahead and roll might.
Fleeting advantage is the same deal, right? 2 to 3d6, take 1.
Yep.
Yep. So I got so it would be 9. It would be 9 minus 1, so 8.
8. So what is it that you want as your effect there on Fiercely Assault?
I'm actually switching over to that right now.
Do you want them to be wounded and escaping, or do you want to finish them off?
I want them finished off.
Then what does that look like? What is the savage strike that you deal here?
I think this sorcerer still has their porcelain mask on, and we just see the porcelain mask flying through the sky as their head falls at my feet.
You have armor, so you're going to take just 2 wounds. Sorry, 1 wound. No, wait, this is sorcerer, so 2 wounds. And I think you'll be kind of be knocked back by that, even as you cut that sorcerer down.
Yep.
Hikaru and Reiko, the path kind of clears as you finish off the last of them, and Hikaru, you'll see Reiko holding up Naganori, who's bleeding. You don't see her brother anywhere. Even as the last of these blood speakers fall beneath blades and staves. What's your reaction, Hikaru?
I think you would rush over to try and help support Rico. He'll say, sort of to Haruma, but it's at both of them. But where is he?
I do think that Reiko kind of smiles, and then I'll let her say whatever she's going to say.
He's dead.
You are not. And we should leave this cursed place.
And she's got a heavy wound, and 2 of you, 3 of you, Hikaru, you'll come out. Satsume, you've pushed through the last of them, and you see Hikaru and Naganori and Reiko kind of coming out of the chaos of this.
How does Reiko look?
Fine.
How many wounds have you taken?
1, and I have extra wounds, so it's like she has a tasteful, slicing across her cheek.
But there is
blood's
a bit of,
everywhere. Little scratch.
there is blood on you.
No. Well, I mean, there's on my cheek, right? Exactly.
Okay.
So she's an archer. She's back from most of the blood spatter.
Then I think I run up, and you see me running up like I'm coming to embrace you, to see if you're okay. And as I get right next to you, I pull up and reach out to you. What do you do?
And I think she looks at you and she goes, "Were you wounded?
What was that?
Were you wounded?" And she's looking for her Caillou, and you see she is all business at this moment.
No. I am well.
She goes, any of your men that were wounded, please, the Kyle will look to them. We have Jade with us. And she goes, I can't have you take any of this back with you. Please.
When you say any of this, what are you talking about?
The taint and the corruption of
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
Moho.
Yes.
And you can see that's her foremost concern.
Gotcha. And there's a moment where my face sort of moves from worry and a little hope to back completely to business. Kakita Daichi is injured. He needs aid.
Right. And she literally will whistle for the Caillou and send them. You know, you see the signals, but it's like completely like she's on the battlefield all the time.
They're getting out poultices made with powdered jade and such to put on wounds, and they're checking things out, and they're moving around. And one of them comes over to you, Hikaru, and says, "Were you wounded?"
I think he's got like a big gash on his side because I mean there was a lot more than just there was a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big gash on his side that's like torn through his robes, and he'll definitely point that out.
Say lay down. You're going to need to lay down, and they'll begin doing the kind of battlefield stitching that will keep you from bleeding out as you're walking down the mountain. And they will put powdered jade in the wound. Do you tell them about the corruption? Do you tell them about the taint?
No, it's very much of like they get done with that, and it's I need to, and he'll like brush them off, and he needs to go take care of things.
And I think you will gather yourselves together. Not everyone survives the wounds, marks. Even the bodyguard is alive. If I'd had another move, I would have killed him, but he's just wounded. And I think Miramoto, Emerald Magistrate, you will find some messages and papers in and amongst the ruins here that you can pocket to take back to the Emperor.
Excellent.
And I think we'll see a slightly humbled, slightly in pain group of people moving back down the mountain. Though you have a much flatter road going back this time. And I think that's where we're going to stop.
And I ask,
Yeah.
Assuming we're going to get back to the boat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then as people are taking to beds and all that sort of thing, I come up to Hikaru. Did you get the sword?
The sword? I do need to get my sword back. Well, yours? Yes, it's should be on the ship.
You will give it to me?
Use for it. It's cursed.
Thank you. And I am sorry that this could not have been happier.
No one here was looking for a happy ending. Just an ending.
And I'll kind of look towards where Reiko is, through the walls. No, it does not seem there are ever happy endings. And I'll reach for wherever the sword is and stalk off with it.
Excellent. Now that's where we're going to stop. Thank you all very much. I hope that was okay. We hope that got us back into the swing of things there. Wow, you guys had terrible rolls to start. That was brutal.
Amazing.
We're all just here finding out the story that the dice want to tell us.
We
Right,
are
exactly.
but instruments in the hands of an angry dice.
Yes.
Sinners in the hands of an angry dice cup. I think that's what it would be. to do my Jonathan Edwards reference. Shinjo Hikaru, Patrick, stars, wishes, thoughts?
The ongoing tragedy is sort of perfect. I plan on really going for it next time. I know we've been sort of soft pedaling the sadness and the tragedy. I really want to ramp it up. But I think I see a sort of like an ending or an aim for him. I think I want to try and hit on the Ronin whatever thing for my character playbook next time, which is about like leaving the clan behind and going your own way. And so I want to play around with that. We'll see what's left behind him as he walks off, or dice. So something totally different could happen. Stars. I really liked getting to see the Emerald Magistrate on the field again. I really liked how you played him, Scott, and that move, the Eye of the Magistrate, was just like a constantly useful thing there. And it was neat to have this sort of expedition that's nominally under the lead of like two other characters, but the Magistrate kept being the one that was like, okay, you go over there and y'all need to go up there, and this is the way we need to go. And Sherry, I just loved how much you leaned into the good story of it, especially with Rico, and with being willing to throw aside your violent crab prejudices and be like, sure, we'll definitely save people or something.
No, it turns. I knew she would kill him when she saw it.
And Tyler, just stars for continuously setting me up to disappoint myself and others. It's like a constant gift of sadness. I say in the most like foreshadowing, narratively perfect sort of sense.
Absolutely. Scott, stars, wishes?
Star to Patrick, who, despite all of our love for his character, is hellbent on making it an incredibly tragic character. Really, really leaning into not just the roles that came up, but making actual decisions outside of dice rolls that lead to good drama. That's why we come. So.
Anything else, wishes-wise? Anything you want to point to?
I don't have any wishes. No,
Okay.
I love this system. I love the setting. This is a perfect marriage for me.
It's given me what I want out of L5R, and I wasn't expecting it to do that. Tyler, stars, wishes?
Wishes. It's going to seem almost anticlimactic, but I'm really looking forward to getting to the Court of the Dragon.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be fun. I look forward to, I'm going to use my gift. I'm looking forward to that moment. Wish I do, if we never come back to this, and God, I'll say wish now, I want to come back to this, but there has to be some great moment of Reiko and Satsuki. There has to be something for the finale. So there's a wish for a moment there. Stars. Scott, I really appreciated how you ran the Emerald Champion. You were really on point, and don't forget you need to pick an advance for it.
That's right.
But I really liked how you did it. And I really appreciate that you got to do some things for your character in your house, but you really jumped both feet into this kind of adventure that you were the only person who didn't have a character there, and yet you really embodied the one you had. And that's good, solid role play, and that's just very generous, and I highly appreciate that. Patrick, why do you hurt yourself so? It's beautiful and tragic and wonderful to watch. I like this character. He surprises me all the time. I really loved the march up on the sorcerers, the blood speakers. That was really cool. That was really nice. And all around, I think the drama with this ward, which was created by a series of bad rolls, and Lord knows bad rolls have been plaguing you throughout the run, but it's made a huge story out of something that has just been a cascade of tragic. And that's really cool. That's taking what you're given and making it strong story, and that's fun. That's really good. Sherry, oh, you rip my heart out every time.
I'm so sorry.
It was nice to see you in battle. It's nice to see a crab get to be in battle. You did it great. You personally are always so on point with how you address a situation, and to see this character as like general and in charge and capable, and I mean it was just seamless and perfect. So and I kind of like the intrigue off the bat from the house too. I thought that was really kind of neat, and seeing them butt up against Mantis was pretty fun. And Lowell, this adaptation this thing is fire.
It's great.
This thing it really works. I'm not kidding when I say I want to come back to this story, but this game. It is really good.
Yeah, I definitely want to see other people run it. I definitely want to play it. It gets away from some of the ground level fetishization that L5R has, and we still get the flavor and stuff. I really dig it.
Because I will say, L5R, I'll give a star to. They have a nice flavor in their game. I think there's a lot of pretty to their game. It's got its issues, but there's a lot of pretty to it. And so, huge stars all around.
Sherry, stars, wishes?
I go all around. I have to give you points for making everything hurt. You did an awesome job there. It's like, ouch, every moment. Everything was full of briars and very sharp bits. Scott, it was good to have you back.
It's great to be
felt
back.
like we were missing you. It was a smooth game last time, but it still felt a little lopsided. So it's like you're back, and I'm like, oh, everything's rolling like a nice smooth wheel should, even as we went downhill very quickly. And Patrick, why we offer you redemption arcs? The worst possible choice at every point. It's amazing. I love it so much. I'm like spinning the story out in my head already. And Tyler, I want everything to be lovely for Toji Satsumi, but tragedy in our lifetime. We'll just have to make the best of it.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording as we're having a storm rolling in right now.
Yeah, we are. Just started raining cats and